Indeed, to talk now more about the situation in Ukraine, we are joined by Yevheniia Kravchuk, Deputy Chair, Committee on Humanitarian and Information Policy in Ukraine. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
So as we're looking at Ukraine, as we're looking at the attack that took place last night, we're looking at the events of yesterday. Let's move back and talk about this killing plot when it comes to President Zelenskyy. We know that two Ukrainian government protection unit colonels have been arrested. How do you think that this plot, this assassination plot against Mr. Zelenskyy, affected the sense of internal security in his closest circle?
Well, I'm not the right person to speak about the security of the president. I don't think it's the information that should be somehow dispersed, but it's well known that Russians tried to kill Zelenskyy from the very beginning of the full-scale invasion. And not just Zelenskyy, but there was a list of high officials from different ministries, I'm sure the members of parliament were there as well, that were to be eliminated when Russians thought they will actually seize Kyiv, the capital. It wasn't the case, obviously, and of course they never stopped trying. So that's actually one of these attempts, and among those who they were targeting was also Kyrylo Budanov, who is the chief of HUR, which is the intelligence service of the Ministry of Defense. And Russians are trying to kill him probably once per month at least. But of course, I think some lessons could be learned by the team that is responsible for the security of Zelenskyy. But it's good that our Secret Service found this plot in time.
Yeah, lessons learned there. I think that's one point here which I think still has many worried. I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, we look also at this recent case in this close circle as well. We go back in, I believe it was Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine. Last year, there was also a plot there. A woman was arrested. We have also in Poland, a man was arrested looking, and there's probably, I think, evidence that he got support from Russian Secret Service in looking at scouting the Rzeszów airport, which is clearly a very, very important hub also where Zelenskyy has traveled to. So it just seems that this is not the first time. There are many of these cases. Of course, he's a big target, but in your mind, I mean, just from your own opinion, would this maybe mean there's going to be more of, let's say, a reshuffle, more of an, let's say, an interest now in looking at security more for President Zelenskyy on a wider scale?
Well, I will reverse that to you, because I think European countries should be also very careful, because lately you can see that Russians are trying to organize different fires on factories that are connected to military production. Or in Germany, the director of Rheinmetall found that his house was burned. So it's not that Russians are targeting President Zelenskyy only. Of course, he is the main target, because they believe that without this powerful voice, the support of Ukraine will go lower and lower. But don't forget that any Ukrainian can be killed by Russian missile any day. Today, Kharkiv was shelled, and 3 boys lost their legs because of the rocket that shot the stadium, the school stadium, where they were playing football, actually. So that's, the Russian roulette of the 21st century. But also, Russians will be trying, influence the elections. And I'm sure right now, the propaganda campaigns in different countries that are in elections, I mean European Parliament elections, and these propaganda campaigns do have roots from Russian Federation and Russian Secret Service, but also actually what I mentioned, different unexpected fires that occur in European Union.
So do you think it's possible to actually, ahead of the EU parliamentary elections, to have some systems put in place by the European Union in order to be able to protect themselves from this Russian propaganda? I mean, only recently we had a Polish judge flee to Belarus, which was later used both by the Belarusian regime and both by Russia in order to boost their propaganda when it comes to European countries. Is there a way for these countries to protect themselves ahead of the elections?
Well, I mean, the elections are around the corner, so it's these decisions either have to be really quick, but also they have to be systematic. And actually, in Ukraine, we're thinking about organizing some sort of informational Rammstein, so that we could build a community of countries that want to fight Russian disinformation and propaganda. And I think it's essential because Russians will be using these dirty tricks. And if they're not successful on the level of European Parliament elections, they will intrude to national elections in different countries, especially using topics of immigration, of spending money on Ukraine and topics that can trigger some of the people that live in these countries. So yes, I think that countries have to come together and be very strict because, of course, freedom of speech is sacred, but there can't be freedom of disinformation.
Definitely. This is one of those subjects that is incredibly difficult.
Tough line right in the middle. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Thank you so much, our guest Yevheniia Kravchuk, joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.